Hello, my name is Miss Miller, and today we'll be talking about non-standard measurement. Essential question. What can you use to measure objects? Standard. Measure the length of objects using non-standard units. Vocabulary. Non-standard units of measurement are units of measurement that aren't typically used, such as items found in everyday life, like blocks, paper clips, food, and shoes, can all be used to measure things. Here are some discussion questions you can have with your students. You can ask them, how do we usually measure things? Are there different ways to measure things? Are there different tools we can use to measure things? And see what the students say. They may surprise you with some of their answers. Then you can go into some activities. Bingo chips are a great non-standard way of measuring. How many bingo chips does it take to find out the length of our computer's keyboard? How many bears does it take to find out the length of our scissors? You can also use cubes. How many cubes are the dinosaurs? Potentially, you can use printed materials as well as hands-on objects. How many blocks are the dinosaurs? You can also use food. Here we have a printable sheet specifically for goldfish, and they would take goldfish to measure the length of each fish and tell how many by writing. Here we have flowers. How many hard candies does it take to find out the height, in this case, of the flower? And here the student traced an image of their foot and cut it out. And they used noodles for one, which was 10. And they used lima beans for another, which was 12. So they could compare the difference. Students can also, as we did prior, trace an image of their foot, cut it out, measure it with smaller objects, as well as larger objects. And again, they could compare. It took how many small versus how many big, and potentially tell the difference. You could also do a similar activity where students trace their bodies. And students typically enjoy this activity. They get to lay down. They're usually really laughing and having fun, and it's really silly. And another student can trace their body, and they're trying to be still. So it's really fun. And they could cut out their bodies and then measure it with smaller objects, again, such as Unifix cubes, or larger objects like long wooden blocks. One resource you can utilize to find some of those printable sheets is teacherpayteachers.com. And there you would search for non-standard measurement in ascending order to look at the free items first. And you'll find a series of items that are free. Just look through them and pick the ones that best meet your needs. You have insects, buttons and shoes, footballs, in this case, leaves. So once again, you can pretty much use anything to measure when you're talking about non-standard measurement. Another resource is YouTube, and Sid the Science Kid has a great video on what's non-standard measurement. So you would find that in a host of others on YouTube. Brain Pop Jr. also has a great video on it as well, along with Scratch Garden. So again, you would go to youtube.com, search for non-standard measurement, and look through the videos. I recommend Sid the Science Kid as well as Brain Pop Jr. In addition, you could also utilize Liveworksheetscom, in which they'll be given an item, such as a caterpillar, and they can measure it with paper clips, crayons, erasers. Here, they have paper clips being measured by other items, such as a pencil or paintbrush, a watch, a safety pin, a spoon, and a pencil. You can also use Boomlearningcom as a resource. And here, how many units tall is the robot? So the students would drag the books. 1, 2, 3. Press number 3. Submit their answer. How many units long is the van? So they're using pencils here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see if we're right. So again, the students would go to boomlearning.com and use non-standard measurements. In conclusion, non-standard units of measurement are units of measurement that aren't typically used, as we've seen, such as items found in everyday life, like blocks, paper clips, food, and shoes. Students typically enjoy the hands-on activities of measuring themselves, such as their foot or their friends in their class, bodies, and others. YouTube, Boom Learning, Teachers Pay Teachers, Epic Books, and Live Worksheets have great activities and videos to teach non-standard units of measurement. Thank you so much for watching.